The Marvel's pre-sales are reportedly even worse than The Flash. Are you even kidding me right now? Oh boy, this is not gonna be great. This is not gonna be great for the MCU. And so let's read, shall we? According to Deadline, ticket pre-sales for the Marvels are reportedly doing even worse than this year's DCEU films. The film is currently pacing behind both Black Adam and The Flash, which had respective openings of 67 million and 55 million. This problem may stem from the Marvel's inability to promote the project properly with the ongoing strike, including press with the main stars. Now, obviously, not being able to do proper promotion for the film is clearly hurting it and going to hurt it. That ain't gonna be the scapegoat. No, I don't want to hear that as the excuse or scapegoat if this film doesn't do well, okay? Because where was that with Blue Beetle? Where was that with Blue Beetle? No one was using that to defend Blue Beetle, and the same exact crap was going on. I don't want to hear it, okay? We ain't going to use that as the excuse, all right? We didn't use it for Blue Beetle. We ain't using it for this. Now, with that said, the thing I want to focus on is, again, they're saying this is doing worse than The Flash in pre-sales. Understand what this means. Understand what that means. That means the Marvels could be the biggest superhero flop in movie history. Check this out. As a lot of you know by now, the Flash movie is one of the biggest box office flops in Hollywood history. It is one of the biggest flops in Hollywood history and the biggest superhero movie flop. It did worse than Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. And the Marvels is on pace to do worse than this. Again, I wish no ill will on any movie or anything, especially a Marvel or DC film. I want them all to be great. All I'm saying is, it is on track to be the worst superhero movie box office-wise in history. If it keeps pace and this stays true, it will be the biggest superhero blockbuster movie flop, dethroning The Flash. That is crazy.
Own personal opinion, right? Who are these movies for, right? Whose movies like with I'm sorry, right? This is not my thing. Whose movies for with leading female characters in action movies? Who's that really for? It's just so uninteresting, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, right? My own personal taste. When it comes to action movies, even superhero movies, right? I always like it being a man because it's more action packed, in my opinion, right? That's why I love John Wick. You know, I've always, love. I'm an '80s baby, right? Back in the day, you get all Stallone, Arnold, shit like that. It was the best type of action movies. Very action packed. Now I get it, right? It's a new age, modern. You want females hero too, and that's fine, right? I've seen old school, female action led movies like Alien, but it just feels like nowadays you get less of good quality actions, and it's just I don't know, girl power kind of movies, right? And it just feels like the whole aspect, because let's say even Alien or like Terminator, them being a woman is not the important thing. It's not even like, it's glossed over. It wasn't even like, a point to be made. But I feel like movies nowadays, or even shows like She-Hulk, being a woman has to be known. This is a woman, right? You have to know this is a woman that's in the lead role. And it's like, you're pushing it down people's throat. And now there are some people who is just tired of this woke culture. It's like you have to see this is a woman, right? You can't ignore the problems, the blight of being a woman. And it's like, okay, my entertainment is being very political, being socially conscious. It's just okay. Now I'm just like it's not enjoyable. And to be honest, action movies, comic book movies, yes, there are women that go to it, but I'm sorry, it's not the primary audience. So you gotta think, are you actually catering to the men? Are you drawing men's attention in? Because those are who watch these movies. Those are who buy comic books. Yes, women buy comic books, women buy geeky things, but they don't do it in droves. They don't do it in mass like that. Okay, and the men that like support these things and call other men misogynistic and all this stuff. Okay, great, but where's your female example of amazingness, right? I mean, like all the feminist men that wants to defend it and all stuff. Like, you're not making like all these female led comic books into number one in their sales bracket. Okay, it's just not. You didn't make Birds of Prey number one. You name it. You didn't really do a whole lot with that. There are certain things that maybe was culturally significant, like Black Panther, so it helped it, but it don't mean that like every one of these movies will be a surefire. And this one had no importance, so there's no defense. And it's like, again, it's my personal opinion. I just, looking at this, there was nothing that draw me in, right? Nothing that made me want to watch it. It wasn't. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a big flop, but who knows? Maybe feminist men and women would love this so much and prop it and push it to not be a flop, but let's see.